Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Bakhair agale, ni hao, chure shumme, washbale, ohayo gozaimus, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifahal, hale shuma chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabiav, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning, alongside the very fabulous, the very stunning, the very marvelous Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you on a cold Monday morning?
I am absolutely great and even better because you mentioned cold because
Yeah.
I feel like, well, fingers crossed, this is going to be the last spell of summers and we are probably, entering towards the fall/winter season, which I absolutely love.
I just can't wait for it. And I thought that you were actually going to ask me whether how I feel, but it's
Okay.
perfectly all right. I'm going to let people know. So, ladies and gentlemen, since the weather's changing, so the kind of biology my body's got, so whenever the weather's changing, I just get a little sick, just a little ill. But yesterday, what happened that I was actually out and I wanted to go and dine out in a restaurant as well. So, what happened that we ate outside. And for all of my friends, we were together. But eventually what I've realized is that, eating out, particularly within this season, is actually not going to be of any help because of the fact that, as soon as I got back home, I had my stomach was a little wobbly and then I could feel that, I was a little sweaty as well. So I'm not that perfect. But just because of the fact that I'm actually talking to all my amazing viewers out there, so it makes me feel all right. But other than that, please make sure to be more cautious about it.
Oh,
What
no,
about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was nice. I actually had a lot of food stuff going on throughout the
Okay.
weekend. So I was on dinners and whatnot. But luckily, thank God, this didn't happen to me. What happened to you? So I wish you, to get well soon.
Thank you very much for
Just
that, and happy birthday, Shiza.
Thank
So
you.
it was her birthday on Saturday, I believe.
Sunday, yesterday,
Sunday, yes.
yes.
So happy Hatch Day, Shiza.
Thank you
Hashmi.
so much.
How old are you now? Well, you do not
Well,
really have to say that on screen.
let's just say half of my life is gone. Just
Oh.
saying. But okay.
But you-
So last year, Shahzad, I feel like every other morning we used to discuss, that winter season, we should get flu shots and whatnot. So this time I'm promising myself and you, before the season even starts, I am definitely going to get some.
Exactly, and you are actually supposed to let me know as well.
Okay.
So whenever you're going, I would actually know because, ladies and gentlemen, there's a particular time when you should actually get it. But other than that, today, ladies and gentlemen, happens to be a very important day.
Absolutely. Today is the 16th of September, and ever since 1987, Shahzad, for more than 30 years now, the UN General Assembly passed a resolution. This was about protecting the ozone layer, and thus we are today, observing the day, International Day for the protection of the ozone layer and protection of the depletion of ozone, basically. So to start with, just the basics for everyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, like
Shahzad,
me.
Yeah, okay, no
Go
problem.
ahead.
We're here to learn.
Yeah.
So what is ozone, and why, and how do we need to protect that?
All right, so Shiza, as far as I know, I think that ozone is actually O3, which is 3 atoms of oxygen, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And other than that, ozone actually helps us from, ozone actually protects us from UV rays, which are actually coming from the sun.
Yeah.
And other than that, back in the day when people weren't really very aware of the fact that, what ozone layer does to us and how ozone layer is actually looking after us, what we did was that, while industrialization took over,
Yeah.
so, a lot of industries came into being as well, and then they started polluting the air around us. And to be more specific, it's about the chlorofluorocarbon. I think that's what we
CFCs and HFCs as well.
Yes, exactly. And, for most of the people, they might not even know that the perfumes we use, the hairsprays we use, they even emit CFCs as well. And the foaming industry. So, a lot of industries kind of damaged the ozone layer, but now it's 32 years and healing. This is this year's theme.
This is the theme,
And
absolutely.
Montreal Protocol, ladies and gentlemen, was signed exactly when I was born back in 1987.
Wow.
I'm 32 and the ozone layer is 32 and healing. Wow.
All right, that is absolutely perfect. So this is what we will be talking about. And why was it absolutely so important for us to discuss this in the morning show? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are exposed to it and we are impacted by the depletion of the layer more than we know. I mean, there are skin diseases going on and
Yes,
whatnot.
skin cancer, for
Skin
example.
cancer, of course, and lung diseases because of the bad air that you're going to inhale. And of course, direct contact with the sunlight, not good for the plants, not good for animals and anything. Without further ado, let's get started with the conversation with our very apt guests over
Yes,
here.
but before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a small report, and before we go towards that report as well, so there's just one simple recommendation, and that is that for all of those people who are out there, even if you go out in the sun, please make sure to use sunblock.
Oh, yes,
and it's
absolutely.
actually going to help you, and make sure that it's SPF 50 or plus. But let's go and take a look at this report, and once you guys will come back, we're actually joined by some very amazing guests over here in the studios.
Every day, as the sun shines on the earth, It sends ultraviolet rays that can cause sunburn and sometimes damage our DNA. Like a sunscreen for our planet, the ozone layer absorbs most of this harmful radiation and protects us. But in the early 1980s, scientists discovered that the ozone layer was thinning over Antarctica each August and September. In 1987, nations around the world came together to fix the problem through the Montreal Protocol. The international treaty banned the production of ozone-depleting chemicals like chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs. But these chemicals had been in use for decades, and they stay in the atmosphere for a long time. So, it took a while to see the effects of the ban. In 2000, the ozone hole was the largest ever observed by scientists. But conditions slowly improved. Data from NASA and several partners show a 20% decrease in ozone depletion during August and September from 2005 to 2016. In 2017, the hole is the smallest since 1988. A year later, the hole was smaller than expected. Studies suggest that the ozone layer over Antarctica should mostly recover by the middle of the 21st century.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this was a small video to actually let you know what ozone does to us and how helpful it is. But to explain further about it, that how we can actually, as individuals, help in healing the ozone layer. We have actually been joined by a very amazing guest over here in the studios. Ladies and gentlemen, she represents the Ministry of Climate Change. She's the Director General, Pakistan Environmental Protection Agency. She's none other than Farzana Altaf Shah. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
Absolutely perfect, and thank you very much for joining us. And ma'am, today, you know, while me and Shiza were in conversation, so we thought that today we're going to learn about the ozone layer, about all of these protocols from you. So please go ahead. How important is this day for you and for everybody out there? And what can we do as individuals to protect our ozone layer?
First of all, thank you for PTV World inviting me over here on this important day and sharing with the public and everybody why we are celebrating Ozone Day and what is the Ozone Day.
Yes.
Before going into any scientific things, I will say our Quran is science itself. And in Surah Anbiya, ayat 31 to 33, Allah talks about the protection of the earth by certain layers.
Yes.
So whatsoever have been taken place under the Montreal Protocol or for the protection of ozone has been derived from, in my concept, from the Surah Anbiya.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Allah Ta'ala says there are the layers who are protecting the earth around you, and everything has been encapsulated into certain form, and there is reason to protect everything.
Okay.
And those layers are for the protection and then exposed for the livelihoods. So these are our visions, and science is always based on the evidence.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So basically what is ozone, and I will talk very basic thing. We need certain protections around our earth. And as we are living in this galaxy and several other stars are roaming around us, and main source of energy on the earth is the sun.
Yeah.
Yep.
But sun is producing so many ultraviolet radiations. If those radiations are directly coming to the earth, it can cause so many type of the damages.
Absolutely.
So for the protection of the earth, around the earth we have a layer of the ozone.
Yeah.
Usually ozone is 3 atoms of the oxygen joined together to form a O3 molecule.
Yeah.
And when they join together, they form the outermost layer around the earth and to protect it. But initially, how ozone is formed and how ozone is depleting, or how depletion mean it's decreasing day by day. If we go into the law of the conservation of the mass can neither be generated nor destroyed, but can be converted from one form to another form.
Yes.
So naturally, there are so many processes are taking place due to which one form of the chemicals is being converted into another form. But for the chemical process, there is requirement of the certain energy, some other substances to which they react with each other.
Okay.
Then we talk about the ozone depleting substances, ODS. You have heard about this terminology very commonly. And with the passage of the time of the earth, urbanization, increase of the population, then industrialization, several other activities which are being generated, those are causing production of so many other chemicals,
Right,
either
absolutely.
intentional or unintentional.
Which are harming the ozone layer.
We
But
are-
these are some of the things that we will definitely talk about in detail. But ma'am, I want you to take us back to the Montreal Protocol and talk to us about the goals that were set. And 32 years down the lane, are we anywhere near those, achieving those goals?
Alhamdulillah, I will say Pakistan is a member of the Montreal Protocol, and we are in the process of implementation of the conditions of the Montreal Protocol, and we are according to our framework, because every protocol and every agreement or whatsoever we are entering into, convention, treaty, protocols, we set the goals and objectives and then time frame, and time frame is always related with the activities.
Yeah.
So we established ozone cell in the Ministry of Environment years back. Now we are Ministry of Climate Change after the 18th Amendment.
Okay.
And we established a ozone cell initially at the level of the Ministry of Environment, and we started working on it with the industrial, with the stakeholders. Because without the consultation with the stakeholders, you cannot develop any framework.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's not just the job of the government, but on state, on other organizational levels as well, on individual levels as well. Everyone has to realize this all together. Yes, that's
Exactly.
absolutely. You
Yeah,
have a
which is
question,
why,
go on.
there's just one simple thing which I've always wanted to ask ever since that I started learning about ozone and, these protocols as well. And to my knowledge, what I believe is that Pakistan wasn't really a massive contributor to the depletion of ozone layer
You're
itself.
right.
But then at the same time, we've seen and we've witnessed that there are countries who are actually literally depleting the ozone layer, and they've played a major role into that as well, while saying that they're not actually going to sign all of these protocols as well. So how do you think that we can really curb this problem, so that, because ozone is actually or the depletion of ozone is going to affect each and every one of us. It's not that it's just going to affect one person. So countries not coming together and not abiding by the protocols, how do you think it will affect in the longer run?
Obviously, when we talk about the climate change, which is, in my opinion, product of the environmental degradation. And what are the factors of the environmental degradation are all these unintentional or intentional activities, or industrial revolution, or unsafe use of the so many things in the industries. So, as you asked, how we are going to impact it? Pakistan is a vulnerable country, because although we are not contributing much in the degradation of the environment at the global level, and we don't have much contribution to that, but keeping in view our so many other internal factors, we will suffer more. Like Pakistan is blessed with 4 seasons a year, and nowadays we are experiencing much longer or hotter summer and shorter winter. But this winter in month of Jan and December 2018, we had heavy rains, and in monsoon we are experiencing rains. So these are the patterns being changed at global level.
By
and
human activity?
You can see so many activities about it, but these are the global impacts coming at to regional and then national and local levels. So although you don't contribute, but you are suffering because of all those activities, like change of the temperature is rising day by day, day by day. So you cannot say only at the Pakistan level so many activities are taking place, but at international level or global level so many things are happening, and ultimately those are resulting into these type of destruction.
Right. Absolutely. And ma'am, you very rightly said that even though if we're not directly contributing towards it, we will be affected by it. Like when we're talking about direct exposure, if sunlight is directly exposed to earth, humans or plants, it is definitely going to change the patterns of photosynthesis, and plants being the major source of food or nutrition for humans, of course. Are we seeing a change in pattern or trend of that as well? I mean, probably we're going towards hazardous food.
In that context, I will say now we can experience in our country the early ripening of the crops.
Oh yeah.
And early ripening of the crops is not resulting only into the yield earlier than the season and harvesting season pattern, but if you look into the quantity of the crop, because if a crop starts ripening early, it doesn't grow to that height. So ultimately it impacts the food demand and the food yield from the crops. Like we were having a stock of the wheat years back about 4 feet or 5 feet higher. Now we are getting 3 feet and 3.5 feet higher. So it is reducing the crop yield for the livestock. So these are the impacts which are not being realized very early. And second, it's a matter of the awareness. Are we aware? and then it changes the pattern of the growth of the crops and cultivation pattern.
All
So
right.
all these things are interlinked. If you look into our climate change policy 2012, you will find so many activities where we have identified where we need the mitigation and where we need the adaptation. So this is the main impact of the climate change. We need to work lot on adaptation and mitigation. Certain things we can mitigate, but so many things we have to adopt.
Absolutely. So, ma'am, just now since we are about to talk about solutions, there definitely have to be substitutes of things, because when we're talking about, let's say, hairsprays or, you know, perfumes or whatnot, refrigerate, you know, the CFCs being produced by them as well. These are the things that we do need in our daily lives, but we need to substitute for a better environment. And I read somewhere that even in some fertilizers, they can be, you know, harmful to the ozone layer. So how can we substitute all of these?
And ma'am, before you start answering, you know, there's one simple thought which actually came to my head, and that is that imagine that if those hairsprays can do this to the ozone layer, imagine what they'll do to your
the
hair.
hair, oh.
And yes, it has done quite a lot to my hair as well. So ma'am, please go ahead. Yeah.
You are talking about the activities.
Yep.
What I will say basically, as I mentioned, ozone is a completely 3 molecules of
Yes.
oxygen in the form of O3, and what is impact in it? We generally heard about a term CFC,
Yeah.
Yep.
chlorofluorocarbons. And basic question comes where they are being used. Using a hairspray or the perfume or fire extinguisher, these are individuals' activities.
Okay.
So you can see individuals are contributing into depletion of the ozone, and then collectively companies or the firms are also. Our refrigeration industry, foaming industries, then these small activities come over there.
All right.
So major industries are refrigeration industry and foaming industry. So our ministry is working with them since years. As I mentioned, without the contribution of the stakeholder and their participation, we cannot work much on that.
Okay.
Okay, which is why, you know, before we wrap up this segment, you know, there are 2-3 more questions that we wanted to ask, and that is that how much do you think Pakistan has contributed towards healing the ozone layer? Because 32 years and counting, and 1 to 3% is actually the average speed with which we are actually healing the ozone layer, or Allah, alhamdulillah, is actually helping us with that too as well. But how much do you think Pakistan is contributing towards that?
I can assure you, and I can confidently say here that under the Montreal Protocol, our Ministry of Climate Change is performing really on the fast track, and the steps which were required to be taken under this Montreal Protocol, Pakistan started at the right time, and we are moving in the right direction. And specifically, you have seen so many products in the market written CFC free.
Yep.
So
that is what we should
that is
look
the
for.
outcome of this all efforts of the ministry and our Montreal Protocol section and ozone cell section, which is working on it. Similarly, we are working with the foam industries. Now we have very clear distribution of the quota, how much CFCs and other gases can be used in these industries. We have complete data set of about those things, and we have complete parameters which can monitor our usage of the CFCs, and then we are talking about HCFCs.
Wow.
Right.
So we are switching over to those substances or gases in simple languages which are not contributing into the ozone depletion process. So this is one of the milestone which we are achieving simultaneously. We have several segments. We are implementing this. Today we are celebrating our ozone depleting Substances Day and Ozone Day in the Karachi with our major stakeholders, because Karachi is one of the largest industrial city. Similarly, like Lahore, Faisalabad or Gujranwala, where these industries are located. We are actually working with them on their domain, how they are doing, where they need the assistance. We provide them the technical assistance, and how they can switch over to the new technology where they can improve their manufacturing process. Especially, we cannot stop the industrialization. We cannot stop the development, but not at the cost of the ozone depletion.
Exactly.
So Pakistan is very well on its framework and time frame, how we can combat with this situation and how much we can control about this
Amazing.
situation.
And
Thank
it
you
makes
so
me
much.
happy.
Thank you so much for being here, ma'am, and then informing us as well. And I feel like this is needless to say. I mean, Ministry of Climate Change is doing an absolutely amazing job in terms of awareness as well, because that is where we start. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you did learn something from this, and just know we definitely definitely do need to cope up with, maintaining or let's say mending our ozone layer because as Shazad very rightly mentioned, 1 to 3% is the rate per decade that we're moving at. So we need to look for that. And also whenever you go to the market to buy any of these products, look for CFCs free.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe that as a Pakistani today, I'm going to be very proud. First of all, it's because of the fact that right when we talk about Montreal Protocol as well, I think that we are the people who are actually given in a lot, and we are the people who are actually working in the right direction. So this definitely brings Pakistan on a global map in terms of helping people to actually cure the ozone layer as well. But other than that, there's a bigger surprise right after the break because Pakistan's on a global map. Why? It's because of the fact that Pakistan is going to be home to be the world's largest gym in the world. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned.
Good morning.
Magla Hills, the heaven of Islamabad, the abode of God, a place where you can explore your soul and meet power of natural elegance of mountains. Spread over an area of 12,605 hectares, the Magla Range, the foothills of Himalayas, are youngest hills with an age of 5,000 years old. Magla Hills are home to around 600 plant species, 250 bird varieties, 78 mammals, and 13 species of reptiles. Magla Range is characterized by many valleys, scenic spots, and beautiful water streams, especially in the monsoon months. Famous for their tranquil environment and lush green natural splendor, Magla Hills are a particular source of pride, harmony, and spiritual solace. For the residents of Islamabad, many of whom make it a weekly ritual to scale the various trails to Damaneko and Pir Suhara. Magla Hills send off its visitors with lasting trail of memories to relish in solitude and provide an escape from the relentless rhythm of life.
Welcome back to Well This Morning with Shazad Khan and Shazad Hashmi. Ladies and gentlemen, on a beautiful, cold / maybe rainy Monday morning. So, all right, Shazad, I have a question for
go
you.
ahead.
So, as we all know, the viewers as well know that every now and then you have these projects going on, these things that you're hosting and whatnot. This was probably a few weeks back. I came across a story of yours, and you were hosting something for the world's largest gym in Pakistan.
Yes.
Tell me all about it because I didn't know about it. I haven't seen it or heard about it, but this sounds so exciting for Pakistan itself.
Thank you very much for saying that. So, ladies and gentlemen, for all of those people who are out there, since we're going out in 46 different countries, Pakistan is actually now known to be home for the world's largest gym in Pakistan. And not just the gym, ladies and gentlemen, it's a franchise of a sort that, you know, I think that these gentlemen have actually done a wonderful job bringing it to Pakistan as well. Everybody is well aware of Ultimate Fighting Championship, which is UFC. It's a big brand, and recently, you know, there was a fight, obviously Khabib, McGregor, all of these people, they have been a part of the UFC as well. But ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't really very easy for them to bring it to Pakistan and to convince them to come to Pakistan as well. So which is why we had a meet and greet session where all the trainers were actually from abroad. So we were supposed to go and visit the gym and, you know, be in conversation with them. But the best parts, you know, as much as I could remember, so, you know, they've got an indoor running, what do we call it, running track. And then they've got 103 bouts stations as well. Then they've got daycare, then they've got kids gym, then they've got separate ladies gym, men's gym, 2 swimming pools, 6 jacuzzis, 6 jacuzzis. And, you know, basketball courts, tennis, cricket,
All right,
whatnot.
listen, wow. So how big is this area, I mean, that we
Oh, wow. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this area, the total area, the covered area is 420,000 square feet as well. I happen to go to the gym myself, which is in Lahore, right next to Defense, I believe, phase 11. We'll correct all of these figures as well. But go ahead, take a look how the gym looks. And the gym's opening in November. So, I think everybody's pretty much hyped up as well. So, let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. This is the world's largest gym in Pakistan. Hi guys, Assalamu Alaikum once again. This is your buddy Shahzad Khan. Right now we are on our way to the world's largest UFC gym, or witness karenge, because today we've got a meet and greet session. And I think that the entire place looks very promising as well, because it's all about health, fitness and promoting the soft image of Pakistan. Catch up with that. Alright guys, so finally we're at the site, the UFC gym Pakistan, and I think that this is going to be epic. It's going to be an epic.
We're trying to add value to UFC.
So ladies and gentlemen, this was just one simple clip which we actually shot over there as well. There are a lot of clips, but we actually want to be in conversation with the CEO of UFC Gym, world's largest gym over here in Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. He's none other than Mr. Rao Shahzad. He's actually the chairman of South Asian Games as well, senior vice president, Pakistan Wushu Federation, and a lot more. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, and I'm really good.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you, but to get the conversation started, अंग्रेजी से उर्दू में आ रहा हूँ सर इतना बड़ा जिम और इतनी बड़ी इन्वेस्टमेंट यू नो क्या सोचा था आपने what were you thinking when you thought of bringing UFC to Pakistan?
Well, only the one thing like to be make me to be do it is only the Pakistan.
Wow.
To put the soft image in the world for the Pakistan is very necessary for me, for the nation. So that's what the idea is, to bring the UFC brand here, because it was very difficult to motivate them to bring this brand to Pakistan. It took me like about 3 years to ask and to work on that and to bring this product to Pakistan for our nation, and especially for our athlete, for kids, for everybody, so they can have an international standard exercise. And at the same time, we can show the world that we have international standard players here who can participate in World Championships.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing. And you know, you very rightly said that almost every other month, Shazad and I have athletes over on our show as well. And this one common issue all of them face is, you know, availability of probably an arena where they can train, their mentors and whatnot. So this is amazing. First of all, you are basically providing the facilities for them to go train over there. But also, are you looking into, I mean, mentorship and training as well? Are we going to have like an amazing place but train with the same old people that we already did?
Well, let me explain. The UFC gym is a community club.
Okay.
So we said like, don't join the gym, join the community.
Okay.
Right, so this is the only gym in the world where even a 4-year kid can get participate in the classes and everywhere. So we teach them technically. The UFC gym players, UFC stands for Ultimate Fighting Championship. But our target is not to make only a fighting club, or this is not a fighting gym. This is a gym for everybody.
Okay.
80% of disease can be cured by exercise.
By working out,
right?
yes.
So this is very necessary for everybody. So this is a club where everybody can come, they can join the community, the same time within the entertainment. Like UFC Gym Pakistan have everything, whatever you say. You name it, we have it.
Yeah, they've
So
got,
we-
ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I just remembered that they've got a indoor cinema as well.
Wow.
And that they've got a sports hospital inside as well. And then, you know, there's a lot of things. And, you know, the best part, ladies and gentlemen, which I loved the most was that for all of those mothers who actually have just given birth to kids and they want to go to the gym. So what they do is they really have to look for a nanny or, you know, somebody else to look after their kids. So they have this daycare, and then they have this separate ladies gym as well. And it's your choice whether you want to exercise in the co-head or not. And then they've got 3-4 conference rooms, and it's huge. You know, you talk about any sport, it's in there. So sir, what I wanted to ask over here was, how much time did you guys take to build all of this, and how much effort did it take to convince the UFC to let you the franchise so that you could bring it to Pakistan?
Well, it took us like we started the groundbreak in last year in 2018 in December.
Wow.
And the 360 plus labor workers, they work day and night for this beautiful gym, which we are targeting like to be open in November. So we are pretty much like working on it, and still like we beat the, you know, the time actually.
Yeah, it's been less than a year that
Yeah,
you're
less
almost
than a
done with
year
it. Yeah.
for all the like success stories and everybody like working so hard. जितनी भी लेबर है, जितने लोग हैं, मैं उन सब का शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ, especially हमारे उन लोगों का जिन्होंने इसमें बड़ी मेहनत से काम किया. About the question you asked me, like how difficult it was to be bringing here, it was really difficult because the situation in the world, they think that we are not like as a nation, we are ready to be doing these kind of things for entertainment or exercise. So I personally met with Dana White, who is the president of UFC, and I met with the chairperson and a chairman with Mark Mistrov, who is the owner of UFC, and they own like IMG Group and they own WME, and the UFC is the first brand expansion of UFC. So it's a sister concern company which is under the umbrella of UFC. So I talked to them personally. I convinced them to bring this to Pakistan as a master territory agreement. So we are looking forward to open 35 clubs around the country. And Alhamdulillah, that was not an idea before when we started to make this much big. But suddenly, like we were talking, and the guys like you who are interested to be like gym freakers, and they said like do something different. Because our slogan is train different. So that's why we said, why don't we go for a big one and we can show the world our power, the Pakistan power actually. So we have a largest UFC gym in the world, none another. Greenwood Athletics, which is in Colorado, stands before us like 120,000 square foot. Now we stand on 420,000 square feet.
Wow,
and
that's
we
almost
hopefully
triple the
nobody
time.
can beat us like minimum 10 years ahead. So that's what we are trying to.
And that's great. But very sorry that I'm actually going to put you under hard light, and I'm just going to ask you that since while I was there, you know, it was very refreshing and it was very amazing for me to see that, you know, there are people who are actually trained by the UFC. And then at the same time that you have actually been able to bring them to Pakistan, they're going to live over here with their families and day and night, because it's a 24/7 facility, 365 days as well. They'll be over here in Pakistan as well. But what I wanted to ask you was, since you yourself are the chairman, South Asian Games, Senior Vice President, Pakistan Wushu Federation, and then the list goes on. Don't you think that there are people over here in Pakistan who can be as good as those trainers which you've brought them from, different countries? They're from Egypt, they're from USA, they're from Italy, France, wherever. Don't you think that we could actually put in or use our own people?
Definitely, we are looking forward for this. Like UFC Gym have a UFC Gym University, which is working on it.
Okay.
So the reason we are hiring the staff from abroad, like all the foreign trainers, so once they come here, they will train those who are living here. So we will certify them. This is a very necessary point because the athlete, especially the athlete and everybody, they are asking for a top-notch facility with the international standards. And of course, we are bringing international coaches. Even every cricket, hockey, all the sports have a coaches from international and they're certified. So like we are looking forward for 2 or 3 years that we will certify everyone here and they can join the UFC.
Oh, that's just great.
All
Which
right,
is why,
I just-
Shiza, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Now, as a woman, as a working woman, as a lady, how important do you think it is for you to go to a gym which is a 24/7 facility and that you actually have a separate gym for yourself as well?
Yeah.
And that you've got female trainers to train with?
I feel like, so here's the thing. I mean, you very rightly mentioned for working women, especially
Yeah.
because, time is a constraint. I mean, I'm not going to be free probably 9 to 11 in the morning where I can go swimming because generally in Pakistan, even when you're talking about swimming, there's a certain female's time and just 3 hours of that. And then you can't do it anymore. No, I'm
Yeah.
serious.
That's-
It's not
That
just
was
first
the
of all an
idea
issue.
actually behind
But then-
this.
yeah, and then I was listening to you guys, talk about having 2 major swimming pools and then, daycare facilities and whatnot. So even if I'm not going to work out in the gym, I must be looking for something, like a sauna bath or something to relax over there, which you are
Cinema.
offering. Yes, of course, theater,
Yeah.
which you are offering. So my next question is, with all of these things expanding on such a big magnitude, do you feel like in the near future we can bring some international bouts in Pakistan as well? Probably international matches?
Well, I was in Abu Dhabi last week, sorry, and there was a bout about Khabib and Dustin Pryor,
Yeah.
and we talked to already Dana White. So the UFC Gym Master Territory, we do have a championship rights.
Okay.
So, but we are going to build arena here after this project. So we are looking forward to be having international bouts and to bring international players here.
Right.
And I want to mention this because after the soft opening, but we are planning to bring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Ronda Rousey,
Yeah.
Misha Tate, and Michael Bisping, and
Okay.
Khabib to Pakistan.
Nice.
And this is going to be a blast.
Yeah.
I want to show the world the soft image of Pakistan. This is the first priority.
No, you're doing
and the
an
once
great job.
everybody come from abroad, like the celebrities, they will meet our international celebrities or national celebrities.
very much.
So it's going to be like
And
something
you
good.
have to make us a promise that whenever they're going to come, you're actually going to bring them on
yeah,
our show as
yes.
well. And one more thing which I wanted to ask that, so while I was there, I got to know that you have actually developed an application where people can actually take courses or, those sessions from people like The Rock, from people like, everybody who's actually been a member of the UFC or
Wow.
a trainer or a sportsman themselves. Is that correct? Is that true? Do you think that I can take a session from McGregor or somebody else?
Well, actually, we take it to the next level to add a value to UFC Gym brand. So I was in Abu Dhabi and I talked to the Prince Hamad, and his son is working on his within this project because they are the owner of UAE, Middle East, all brands. So the idea come from the team. So we are going to build an application which is Smart Strike, which is going to be on Android or also available on Apple. So what is going to happen? We're going to register all international celebrities with us. And everybody, if you are traveling to New York or anywhere else, and you can search for who is available at this moment. Let's say Rock is working out in the gym, and he's gonna get a notification from your side, and you are the member of that application. And if he feels okay, he's doing the exercise and you want to join him, at the same time, he's gonna charge for that, and he's gonna say yes on the application, and you can go there and do the exercise in real manners, with a celebrity
Oh, wow.
everywhere. So JLO, Rock, or Dustin Pryor or Khabib, anybody can have this. So this is the idea.
Wow.
Because around the world, we do have 35,000 gyms
Right.
registered already under this umbrella. So this is more than enough. And especially for Pakistan, which is more good, that we are going to be manufacture all the gym equipment in Pakistan.
Wow.
Oh, that's
and which is going to
amazing.
be a more good thing because already Sialkot is doing very well.
Right.
So this is the main idea behind this application and to join the community around the world. But this is like new arena, so that's why we are doing
And
this.
it's just great, ladies and gentlemen, to be self-sufficient, I believe is great as well. And speaking about the fitness industry, I believe that Pakistan has taken a longer period to actually come and understand or come to a point that, fitness is very essential for everybody out there as well.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
especially when we talk about that it's a community and we actually have to train different there. It's just one very simple thing, and that is that we want everybody to be healthy.
Yeah.
We want everybody to have a routine where they're actually looking after themselves, and I believe that UFC Gym is actually going to provide that as well. Because for what I have gone through myself, I've had a back injury and I had to travel to England to actually get the prolapsed disc out. And then other than that, I've had a shoulder injury, and it was so hard for me to find anybody who could actually master in the sports medicine. But eventually knowing that there's going to be a sports hospital
Sports
inside is very
hospital,
relieving.
one of the kind, like we're bringing a sports hospital from the Sweden,
Yep.
which is going to be the first hospital inside the UFC gym, and hopefully we'll expand it afterwards.
Exactly.
So it's going to be help because we have like everything. Like we have 2 swimming pools for ladies and gents, 24/7 with all the foreign trainers, 2 jacuzzi and 6 sauna, 3 steam and 3 dry. Then we have a co-ed gym, we have a ladies gym, we have 100 rack bags for the punching and conditioning training. We have a TRX and we have a GX studios. We have indoor running track. We have 2 squash, international American standard courts. Then we have a basketball court. We have a lawn tennis court. We have a 2 badminton courts inside the gym. And then we have a nutrition shop. We have a Reebok store inside. We have a
right.
multiple massage centers for the
Steakhouse.
gym. Steakhouse, yeah. So everything. It's like a club, Everybody. We have a 3 conference room for the businessmen. Like, like if somebody want to go to the gym, right? And the family actually, and the kids want to be like play, so they have a kids play area, right? And women want to be like watching a movie, so they have a cinema. At the same time, if yourself, Shazad, you want to be doing some business meetings, we have a conference room for you.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
That's we are building a community. We want to show the world. So the module of the UFC gym in Pakistan is totally different than other than in the world.
And
'Cause
there's
this
an
is
octagon
not
ring
ordinary
as well.
gym.
And there's an octagon ring in the gym, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe that
It's
200 or
1100.
300 people can
It's
actually.
1100.
It's 1100,
Wow,
yeah. So 1100 people can even sit over there as well. But thank you very much, Rausa, for giving Pakistan this amazing gift.
Yeah.
And the launch was on Independence Day as well. We saw all of those fillers as well. So best of luck for all of those people who are out there. It's in Lahore, BHA 11.
DHF Phase 11 Rahbar,
Yeah.
and on the Defense Road and opposite Valencia Gate number 9.
Wow.
Please come and join the community, and which is the best. Like we want to make the power, like to show the world that we are good.
Exactly, that's great. And do you have any website so that people can actually go and look for that as well?
Yes, www.ufcgym.pk.
Wow, that's great. Thank you very much, sir, for being
Thank
with
you
us.
so
It was
much.
lovely to have you. And for all of those people who are out there, it's so great to see people who are actually doing something great for your motherland and for you.
I mean, absolutely. And Shazad, this was few years back when international cricket was returning to Pakistan, and Pakistani nation was ecstatic about it. I almost feel similar with this because not only cricket, a lot of other sports and, athletes will be coming to Pakistan as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, just one thing I need to reiterate. Buy CFC free products. And if there's anything you need to write to us, write on our Facebook page with the name of
World This Morning.
On Twitter.
World This Morning without G.
YouTube.
World This Morning.
And we're on Instagram as well.
World_This Morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please look after yourselves. Till the next time. 1, 2, 3. Good
Good morning.
Thank you very much.